How did white skin appear in humanity? The first phenotypic characteristic we often imagine when thinking of a European person is white skin. This trait has such biological relevance that it has fueled prejudices and eugenic theories in various parts of the world. White skin, in a way, became the neutral and official color of the human species. White Homo sapiens are seen as the protagonists, while other ethnicities are viewed as supporting roles. However, from a scientific perspective, the story changes. Our species emerged in Africa 400,000 years ago, as did our hominid ancestors. The first members of the human species had black skin. White skin emerged in our species through convergent evolution, affecting Europeans and Asians who developed these characteristics separately. In this video, I will explain why the first humans were exclusively black and how some populations changed their skin color over time. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, activating the bell to receive notifications of new videos. This will help the channel grow. Our species, Homo sapiens sapiens, appeared 400,000 years ago in Africa. The exact region is still debated, but what is certain is that we came from the African continent. We developed various characteristics that benefited our survival, such as intelligence, cultural production, and the transmission of knowledge through generations, allowing the creation of sophisticated tools and the use of fire to cook food. Our ancestors evolved from hominids living in the African trees, but due to a lack of food, they had to search for food on the ground and eventually acquired bipedal posture. One of these hominids belonged to the species of large-brained primates. We belong to the group of great apes, which includes chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans. It's important to avoid a common mistake made by people who don't understand the theory of evolution, thinking that modern humans are direct descendants of chimpanzees or monkeys, which is a generic term. In fact, primates share a common ancestor that existed long before the genus Homo appeared. Therefore, chimpanzees are our cousins, not our ancestors. Many don't know, but we coexisted with other human species. We were not the only humans that ever existed. We have solid records of coexistence with other species, such as Homo erectus and Homo floresiensis. Furthermore, we interbred and produced descendants with some of these species. The ancestors of Homo sapiens originated in the African savanna, but after a food shortage, they had to seek survival on the ground, where they developed a bipedal posture and were more exposed to the sun without the protection of tree leaves. Sunlight is important for certain organisms, but it can also be harmful to health. For example, intense sun exposure during pregnancy can cause deficiencies in the baby, leading to fragile bones and difficulty in development and survival. Another issue is that sun exposure could also cause some men to become sterile. As a result, those born with a natural resistance to sunlight were able to reproduce and have healthy children, passing on their genes. Those born with lighter skin suffered from the previously mentioned problems and, for obvious reasons, ended up without descendants. In the end, we had a population composed only of people with sun-resistant skin, that is, black-skinned individuals. The dark skin of these early humans was an evolutionary adaptation to the environment. Black skin is sun protection. But what if these same humans had to live in an environment with little sunlight? What would happen? Over the years, these humans would face difficulties. To understand this challenge, we need to talk about a vitamin and a mineral, vitamin D and calcium. Calcium is essential for bone and tooth mineralization and for regulating intracellular events in various tissues. The skeleton is the body's main calcium reservoir, storing 99% of this mineral. How do we obtain calcium? The answer lies in vitamin D, which controls calcium absorption in the body. The main way to get vitamin D is through sunlight. Returning to the humans living on the African continent, these populations had no problems obtaining vitamin D, as, even though they were poor synthesizers of this vitamin, the sunlight irradiation in Africa is extremely high. Migration to other regions is not exclusive to our species. Many animals have done it. Other primates reached Europe and Asia before us, and other species of the Homo genus, such as Neanderthals, also inhabited these regions. The changing environment created new challenges. those who migrated to Eurasia encountered a very different setting from Africa, a cold region with little sunlight, meaning less vitamin D. As mentioned, those with black skin are poor synthesizers of vitamin D. Given this scenario, the descendants of these populations had weaker bones and various health problems. Thus, individuals with more sensitive skin to the sun were born, able to extract vitamin D from the limited available sunlight. This benefited several populations, and over time, people with lighter skin appeared. The further these populations moved north in Eurasia, the whiter they became, adapting to resolve the issues of vitamin D deficiency. White skin emerged convergently 3 times, in populations of Europe, Asia, and lastly, among Neanderthals, showing that this evolutionary trait was a trend in cold regions with low sunlight. Skin color, like any other phenotypic characteristic, should be understood as an adaptive trait that emerged in response to different environments throughout human evolution. These adaptations were shaped by factors such as exposure to sunlight, climate, resource availability, and cultural practices, reflecting how populations interacted with their habitats. It's crucial to recognize that phenotypic variations, such as skin color, are not indicators of superiority or inferiority among humans. Each trait, whether skin color, nose shape, or hair texture, is the result of long evolutionary processes responding to specific challenges faced by populations in varied contexts. For example, while lighter skin may offer advantages in environments with low sun exposure by facilitating vitamin D production, darker skin provides protection against intense ultraviolet radiation. These traits do not create barriers that separate species, unlike our hominid cousins, such as chimpanzees or gorillas, who belong to distinct groups. All modern humans, whether American, European, African, or Asian, belong to the same species, Homo sapiens. This is a widely accepted scientific fact, backed by genetic and fossil evidence. By understanding that we are all part of the same species, we can approach diversity issues from a more inclusive perspective. Genetic and phenotypic diversity is a richness that should be celebrated and respected. Instead of dividing, these characteristics should unite us, as we all share a common heritage that connects us. Moreover, promoting a view that recognizes the unity of the human species can help combat prejudices and discriminations that still persist in our society. By demystifying the idea of superiority based on physical traits, we can foster a more constructive dialogue about equality, acceptance, and empathy. In short, skin color and other phenotypic traits are reflections of adaptations to different environments and should not be seen as measures of human value. Our true strength lies in diversity and in our ability to live and learn from one another, regardless of our external differences. In summary, the idea that humans descended directly from monkeys is a simplification that often leads to confusion about human evolution. This expression suggests that modern humans are direct descendants of the monkeys we know today, but the reality is much more complex and fascinating. The foundation for understanding the relationship between humans and monkeys lies in the theory of evolution, proposed by Charles Darwin in the 19th century. This theory asserts that all species, including humans, share common ancestors and have evolved over time through processes of natural selection. This means that while humans and monkeys share a common ancestor, we are not direct descendants of them. Primates, a group that includes both humans and monkeys, evolved from a common ancestor that lived around 6 to 8 million years ago. From this point, the lineages that would lead to humans, the genus Homo, and those that would lead to modern monkeys, such as chimpanzees, gorillas, and orangutans, began to diverge. In this sense, we are more like cousins than direct descendants. The earliest members of the Homo genus, such as Homo habilis and Homo erectus, emerged in Africa and had traits that set them apart from earlier primates. Over time, these hominids developed features such as an increase in brain size, the ability to craft tools, and the practice of complex communication. These factors were crucial for their adaptation and survival in various environments. Evolution does not occur in isolation. It is influenced by environmental, social, and cultural changes. Modern humans, Homo sapiens, appeared around 300,000 years ago, and their ability to adapt to different ecosystems and develop diverse cultures was essential to their survival and success as a species. Another important point is that genetic diversity within the human species is much greater than that which exists between different groups of primates. This indicates that all humans, regardless of their physical appearance, belong to the same species and share a common evolutionary history. Understanding that we are all part of the same species allows us to address diversity from a more inclusive perspective. Instead of separating us, the differences in physical traits, such as skin color or facial features, are evidence of our species' remarkable adaptability to a wide range of environments over time. These differences should be celebrated, as they are a testament to the shared journey and resilience of humanity. It is essential to acknowledge that, while adaptations like skin color have evolved to meet specific environmental challenges, they do not imply any inherent value differences between individuals. Throughout history, physical differences have been used to justify discrimination and hierarchy, but scientific understanding offers a more profound and unifying message. Our diversity is a source of strength and beauty, rooted in a common ancestry. Finally, as we explore these ideas further, it becomes clear that fostering an understanding of our shared origins can help break down barriers of prejudice and promote a deeper sense of global unity and respect. By embracing the complexity of our evolution and recognizing the significance of our shared humanity, we can move towards a future where diversity is honored and equality is pursued.